Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard here this morning. A Saturday edition is the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, doing still not much. Yesterday, July 4th, down there in the States. So that, as Patrick astutely pointed out, might be the reason why things were a little bit slower when it comes to coverage on a Friday. So we move into the weekend with a whole bunch of headlines coming out over the past 24 hours here on YouTube or on other platforms saying, did the Oilers get worse? Have the Oilers done enough? Are the Oilers worse than last year? And that is by far my favorite part of having gone to back-to-back Stanley Cup championships, because after July 1st last year, that's what everybody was saying as well. And the Oilers ended up back in the Cup final, despite even my own misgivings with the team. So it is what it is. But as we get through into this video, I'm going to target three players here who really, everybody's talking about losing Brown. Everybody's talking a little about losing Perry. Everybody's talking about losing Arvidsson. Kane, as much as you'd love to have him for the playoffs, you saw what that ultimately leads to in the Cup final, where he just is taken out of the equation. So replacing him specifically in the regular season and as the playoffs go along will be a lot easier said and done than one might think. So let's get to that in a matter of moments. But before we get there, if you are new to the channel, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. It's been a journey so far this off season, but here we go. We're getting loaded up, back-to-back videos now, July 4th, 5th. Let's get going. The Oilers, as I talked about, to replace. Kane is a player to replace, but Trent Frederic kind of takes that all on his own, so we'll just worry about that into a situation where Trent Frederic being healthy will kind of answer those questions, at least for the majority of the regular season. So what we have here is Connor Brown produced 30 points last year. Corey Perry, despite scoring all those goals, only produced 30 points. And Victor Arvidsson, despite, managing to play still 60 plus games, only produced 27 points. So out of three players missing from the lineup, you're not even trying to replace a point per game. That's what it truly comes down to from an Edmonton Oilers fan perspective. Is oh my God, the Oilers are worse. They lost their bottom three right wingers, and how could they possibly replace that? And how upset is this guy or that guy because of that guy being gone? I don't care, because the Oilers have always, since last offseason, had a plan in place for this. And I'm not necessarily saying the right wing is going to be shored up simply by adding these next three guys we're going to talk about. What I am saying is the point production in the lineup is easily replaced more than people would give it credit for. So the Oilers that necessarily need to step up to make that happen, there's three of them. And it's kind of a do it by committee, but those other guys were doing it by committee as well. Yeah, sure, Perry and Brown played 80 plus games, but really, so what? You produce 30 points. I think there's other guys capable of getting 77 points combined in lesser time. So Matt Savoy, obviously, friends, when I say things have been in the works for a year plus to get to this problem and solve it, Matt Savoy was required from the Buffalo Sabres simply to do that. Again, you'll see in the later slides, he's kind of listed as a Victor Arvidsson replacement, almost straight up in terms of size and stature. And I guarantee by the time he comes to camp, he came in at 5'9" last year. I assume this year he'll probably come in around 5'11", and obviously as well a few pounds heavier as well, if we're hearing the good things out of development camp that we are. Now, Noah Philp, 40 to 50 games is not unrealistic. I think the Oilers do have some other guys they want to try at fourth line center, but for Noah Philp, this is the year where he plays probably half the season at the NHL level, probably bums around and carries an NHL paycheck for a few extra games as well. Not that that's a bad thing. Again, Noah Philp did earn that based on last year's results. And then our big free agent signing, who again signed for just really, if everything is achieved by Corey Perry, only $100K more than Corey Perry signed for in LA. If Mangiapane can get 50 points, we're absolutely laughing here, because then you're only counting on 27 from full-time Matt Savoy and a half season from Noah Philp. If those guys don't get that, Well, now we got a problem, but that's again why they're listed here on this slide as Oilers to step up. So you kind of get where I'm going with this line of questioning and this line of attack is simply for the Oilers, they've had this percolating, right? We knew we were going to get a new top six addition this offseason. And the fact that Andrew Mangiapane took a pay cut, not necessarily huge. I don't think he would have gotten more than $4 million to be on a team similarly competitive as the Edmonton Oilers, but you kind of get where for 3.6, just 100K more than Perry at the end of the day, that is a win for us Edmonton Oilers fans. So that's where hopefully his production really speaks volumes of what the Oilers are about to do next year. Now, as we go list by list here, the Oilers to step up. Again, as I said, Matt Savoy is 21 years old. He'll be 22 by the time we get to next year. Same build as RV, and as we saw at a development camp and down there in Bakersfield this past season, he really has the archetype that the Oilers really like on right wing, right? The archetype is huge in terms of kind of building a roster, and really he's a guy that gets in, wins battles, and frees up the puck and is able to make a play with it. Again, similar to kind of what you were expecting out of Victor Arvidsson, what you get out of Zach Hyman, what you got out of Connor Brown. And now you're adding a young guy with boots in the lineup to do just that. As long as he can kind of add a few more pounds to the frame and, grow maybe an inch or two over this offseason or over the course of the past year, I assume his body should hold up no problem. And, well, there you have it. The NHL has a problem named Matt Savoy in the top 9 with the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see if that holds true. Again, this is all based on just kind of the trajectory of where this roster has been building to since last offseason, but it would be a nice thing to see it all pan out, that's for sure. So Noah Philp, fourth line center, front runner. I know we signed Curtis Lazar. I think 100% the Edmonton Oilers have a plan here for Noah Philp to be the guy. I know Thomas Sheck also kind of lines up in there, but I would figure that Noah Philp gets first dibs based on preseason production, and that is where that's the next line. The caveat here to it: the face-off wins will lead to production. Again, I think Noah Philp in his first stint with the Oilers this past season had a 36%. I remember seeing the stats somewhere, 36 or something in the face-off dot. It was much less than 50. I'm not saying that in both runs with the Oilers, but in one run with the Oilers, it was kind of really, really low. So if Noah Philp can at least be a 45 to 52% face-off dot guy, that will lead to production all day and night with him, especially with the reworked fourth line for the Edmonton Oilers. Maybe Matthias Janmark getting an opportunity to score some more goals because maybe he's, just shooting the puck a little bit more. I don't know, but you get where we're going. There is some possibility here. Is Noah Philp going to be the guy that scores 40 points all to himself? Well, if he has a point per game at 40 game pace, that's pretty solid. But what I'm hoping for is just, he chips in 16 to 25 points over the course of a season and really allows you to get going. And again, I think the production value will be there a little bit more than even a Derek Ryan. And again, Derek Ryan should have been mentioned in that list of players to replace. The reason he wasn't is he really just kind of faded out into nothing for the Oilers here at the end of his career with us. So that's kind of why I just kept it the way I did. So the last little thing here to keep in mind is the Oilers defense. Now you're sitting here saying, well, you were talking all about forwards replacing forward production. Why is defense even getting mentioned in a similar video? Well, 3 of the top 7 scorers last year in the regular season for the Oilers were D-men. Now here you have it. Very simple. Continue getting points from your defense. I think everybody sits on here so critical of me, sitting saying, oh man, I love when the defense scores points, because it's like we're paying them to defend. You don't want them scoring points. It's like, no, I want them doing both. That is the simple answer. I want them doing both. But the better they play defense, the better they stretch the puck up the ice like Bouchard, Ekholm, Wallman now, and obviously Nurse can do, the better, the more speed we have in the lineup now with Mangiapane, Noah Philp, and Matt Savoy, the better those guys are going to get the opportunities down ice to score. And I'm not asking the defense to score 10 goals each. I'm just asking them to chip in secondary assists left, right, and center. And I think with the additions to the lineup and the expectations we have for the three guys that should replace the three major scoring forwards we lost last year, it should lead to a situation where, yeah, you can claim everybody had a down season, a bad year. Victor Arvidsson truly did. But again, I'm not here to hear it. I'm here to hear that the Oilers are just simply going to maintain what they did last year and be better on top of it. And that's where, again, I'm not going to sit here and say I'd be okay with the defense not scoring near as many points as they did. So, yeah, I know that's expecting a career year out of Brett Kulak again, but the Oilers have the weapons, the Oilers have the tools, and the Oilers have the ability with the players they do to go out there and maintain what they did last year and improve upon it, if anything else. So, friends, thanks for being aboard here today. Appreciate you hanging out on the channel again. Seems like these off-season videos are going to be a bit longer than the typical, 8 to 9 minutes that I spend with you. So if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button on your way out. And thank you for being aboard. At the end of the video here, as you see me exiting, you see some videos popped up. I encourage you to go through and check some of that stuff out. I've reordered the Dolynny TV Cold Lake playlist in case you want to go check that out. And of course, the Oilers Fanatic here on the screen as well for you to check in on and see what the latest was. So for right now, though, I am up on out of here.